Good evening. This is Amirah, and my father's a firefighter, and I wanted to interview him and ask him some questions. How did you become a firefighter?
How did I become a firefighter? I became a firefighter and it was in 1996. I was in a school called Frederick Douglass. It was a high school. It was in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And because I had finished all of my classes early, when I was a senior in high school, I only went to school half a day. So the other half I was in what's called the Prince George's County Fire Department Cadet Program. And what that did was it allowed me to go to school half a day, and then the other half a day I would go to the academy. That's where people learn to become emergency medical technicians, or people who ride the ambulance, paramedics, and firefighters, which is the people who ride the fire trucks. So by the time I graduated high school, I was a qualified firefighter in Prince George's County, Maryland. I was also an EMT. So that's how I became. I did it through high school, and I've been in the fire department. I was in the fire department for a while, and then I left. And then, I went to school and did some other things. Then I came back, and then I rejoined the fire department. And I'm a firefighter this day in Prince George's County.
And so, my next question is, how do you know when there's an emergency?
I'm sorry, you said what?
How do you know when there's an emergency?
So, in the firehouse, it's like a family. So we live there, we eat there, we sleep there, and we cook there. So that's why it's called a firehouse. So what happens inside of the firehouse, when we get a call, the lights come on, there's a big buzz sound, then the bell rings. So that's how we know we get an emergency, because someone calls 911. Like when you call 911, it goes to the emergency center, and then they ask you all of the information, like where do you live, what's wrong, who are you, who's in trouble, do you need an ambulance, do you need the police, do you need the fire trucks, and then they give us the call, and then that's how we come out to you. So that's how we know it is an emergency, is because they alert the station, and then we come out to see what's going on.
And the third question is, how do you do your job?
How do I do my job? Well, I try to do my job professionally. I try to do it efficiently, and I do it with a team. So in this job, we do a lot of training. A lot of training. It's like any other job in every firehouse across the country. They always train because it's how you become better. You practice, but you do it in between calls because we're really busy. We run a lot of calls. So a lot of people need us. So that fire truck is on the road a lot of times. That ambulance, it's on the road a lot of times. It's always someone sick, someone bleeding, someone hurt, somebody has to go to the hospital. So the fire truck goes, the ambulance goes, the ladder truck goes. That's the one with the person drives in the back. It's called a tiller truck.
Oh.
I say tiller.
Tiller.
That's the guy that drives in the back.
Because I always see fire truck like that.
Right. It's called a tiller truck. That's the guy who drives in the back. He's called a tillerman. Right? So the ladder truck goes, the rescue squad goes, the hazmat truck goes. We always go on a lot of calls, so we always stay busy. So in between calls, we train. And that's the best part about it, is that we like doing what we do. And because we like doing what we do, we always try to make ourselves better. So we eat there, we sleep there, we do everything there. So that's why it's called a house, because we're one family.
And my fourth question is, how do you train to be a firefighter?
How do you train to be a firefighter? So what happens is that in the beginning, it's a long process. You have to get your background done and all of that. And then once you're cleared, then you get cleared to go to the academy. And the academy is where you do a lot of exercise. And then once you get past that, then you get into the medical training. It teaches you how to help people if they're hurt, if their bones are broken, if something bad happens to them, so that you can treat them and then take them to the hospital. If you have to put an IV in them, if they're bleeding, you have to put a patch somewhere, or if something really, really bad happens to them, it teaches you how to take care of them. So that's the medical side. And then once you pass the medical side, that's when you get toward the fire side. The ladders, all the fires in the building, a lot of smoke, a lot of fires, but it's controlled. It's at the academy. Teach you how to take the hoses off the fire truck, how to run it upstairs, how to hook up to the hydrant, how to take the hose up a ladder, how to break in people's houses. Sometimes you have to break people's houses. How to put out a car fire, a bus fire, trailer fire. How to put out all kind of fires. So to become a firefighter is really, really hard work. It's really, really dedication, but it's worth it. You know why? Because you get to save somebody's life.
So my sixth question
Yes.
is that so if someone's hurt and then so you pick them up in an ambulance, what do you do when you're going to the hospital?
So if someone's hurt and we're in the ambulance, it depends on what's wrong with them. Like sometimes we get called out a lot for people who say they have trouble breathing. So we give them oxygen, we assess them, we make sure everything is going well. We use a stethoscope, we listen to their lung sounds in their heart, in their back. We take their blood pressure. Depending on what's going on, we may put it's called a heart monitor. It's like a bunch of stickers all over you, and we put these clips with the different wires, and it goes to a machine where we can see what's going on with your heart. If you broke your arm or broke your leg, we put it in a splint. If you're bleeding, then we'll patch that up. It's a lot of things. If you're sick, it depends on what's wrong, but we do a lot of stuff in the back of the ambulance so that when you get to the hospital, it'll help them make you better.
Okay, how do you protect yourself when you're in a fire?
Okay, so if you go get that bag right there, see that blue bag? Right there. Right, yeah, that one. Bring that over here. So now you're going to learn. All right, so this is called a mask bag, okay? Yeah. It's a mask bag. And on the mask bag, see it says it's the fire department seal?
Yeah.
So once we put all of our gear on, so we put our boots and our pants on and our coat, there's a hood that protects our hair and our ears. We put that on, then we take that off, we put it behind us. So in a fire, you can't breathe because it's a lot of smoke and a lot of fire. So what we do is we put our mask on, and the mask is what helps us breathe inside the fire, because inside the fire you can't breathe the smoke and stuff. So we put our mask on, and then we put our hood over top of our mask, yeah, and then we put our helmet on, and then we have our air pack. That's what we breathe, because you can't breathe inside a fire. And then we click, it's called a regulator, and we click it in there, and this helps us breathe inside of a fire. So a lot of things help us. The hood I was talking about helps protect our ears and our hair. See all that? That has to be covered. The helmet, it protects stuff from hitting us on the head. This coat, it's a little burned up, but it keeps me safe. The pants and the boots, so I don't step on a nail. And this keeps me so I can breathe inside a fire. I wouldn't have to go look and find somebody else. So it's a lot of things that we have to protect us. I have a flashlight, I have a radio so I can talk to my other team members, and it's a lot of things that we have that protect us in a fire.
How do you suit up real fast when it's an emergency?
So here's the thing. So that's practice. So in the academy, in fireman school or firefighter school, they teach you what's called gear drills. And that's when you go from, you just have your uniform on, yeah, and they teach you how to step in your boots, pull your pants up, put your coat on, how to get fast. You only have 2 minutes. That's 120 seconds to get dressed and start breathing air. That's it. So in the firehouse, when we go to bed, we put our boots and our pants beside our bed. So when the bell goes off, we just pull the covers out, step in our boots, pull our pants up, and then we go run to the fire truck. So what happens is we get dressed so fast because you practice in fire school. So when the bell goes off, we run, put our pants on, slide down the pole, get our stuff, and then get on the truck, and we have to go down the street. So it's like that. It happens really fast. So practice.
And I have
one more.
Okay, so this question is...
Smells like smoke a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is how do you earn awards?
Earn awards. Okay, so since I've been a firefighter, I have about 4. I think I have 4 trophies, and I have like 5. Well, maybe I have 4 and 4. I think I have 4 trophies, and I have 5. 5 certificates and 4 trophies. So what happens is that no one in the fire department their aim is never to get a trophy, never to get an award. We don't do this for that. We don't do this to say, yeah, look at my trophy, look at my award. If you get one, it's because you did something really, really good and somebody noticed it. Like you saved a life, you did something that you could have died in and you didn't. Something really good and really special. And someone saw it and they wanted to show you how much they appreciate what you did. So the way to get that is to be the best firefighter that you can be. Even girls can be firefighters. Okay, but you have to be the best. You have to train, you have to study, you have to learn, and you have to train some more and practice. You practice on the calls. You practice after all the fires we run. We talk about it and say, how could we do it better? What could we do different? So it's a lot of stuff that we can do to really, really, really make it good for all of us. So that's how you become a better firefighter. You learn, you practice, and you learn some more.
And I have one
Okay.
question. How long have you been a firefighter, and what's the fire dog?
The fire dog. I've been a firefighter for a very, very, very long time. And so a lot of stations, some stations may still have fire dogs. Like we have a dog at our station. Yeah. And so at our station, it's one of the few stations that still have dogs. But the name, our dog was called Proby. Mm-hmm, yeah. And Proby was short for probation, because when you come in like a new guy, you're like a probational member. Yeah. So we called him Proby for short. There's another dog at another station. They may have a different name, but a lot of stations have dogs. It's just the history of it. Like no one has Dalmatians anymore. You know, the dog that's white with the black spots. No one has that.
Yeah, it's a movie called
101 Dalmatians, right? No one has that anymore. But the reason why they use a Dalmatian is because a Dalmatian has really good smell. The nose is really good. And a long time ago, before you and I were born, they used a Dalmatian because a Dalmatian could smell smoke. So that's how the dog became a part of the firehouse, because the Dalmatian could smell the smoke and the dog would bark and alert the firefighters. But listen, back then, they didn't have fire trucks. You know what pulled the fire trucks? The fire engine? Horses.
So they like put sirens on the horses?
Well, yeah, it would. So they would hook the horses up to the engine, and they didn't have gas. Guess what made them move? Steam. It was crazy. A long time ago. And so look, so the horses, when they would pull a fire engine out the firehouse, they would poop.
Ew.
So listen. Okay. So look, in the fire department, a lot of stuff is tradition. So, and this is why, like, after every call, you wash the fire truck, because when you would bring the engine back with the horses after the call, the wheels that were wooden, they'll roll over in the doo-doo.
Ew.
So we'd had to wash it off. So this is why today you wash the fire engine. A lot of people don't know that, but that's why. It's because it's a tradition. The fire department is about tradition. So it's a lot of traditions that you keep from a lot of good guys that have gone before you.
What is your firehouse schedule?
Firehouse what?
Schedule.
So in the fire department, you work either 24 hours, and then you have 72 hours off, or you may work a few 12-hour shifts, or you may work an 18-hour shift. It depends. It depends on what you're doing in the fire department. Like the firefighters, they work a different schedule than like the paramedics and the EMTs. Sometimes the EMTs work 24-hour shifts. Sometimes the paramedics work 24-hour shifts and 12-hour shifts. So everyone kind of works a different. Are you doing a Harlem Shake?
Oh.
Let me see you do it. Let me do a Harlem Shake. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to ask me?
Okay. One last question.
This was like the 8th time I said one last question.
and we'll be done.
We'll be done. Yes. Go ahead. Last question.
Okay. So when was the firehouse built?
My firehouse?
Yes.
It was built a long time ago. A long time ago. But I have something to say to you. So here's what I want to say to you. If your clothes on fire, that's the only time you stop, drop, and roll. If you smell smoke, you wake up everyone in the house, and you get out, and you call 911 from somebody else's phone. And if you can't get out, then you call 911 and say that, hey, there's smoke in my house. I smell smoke. I can't get out.
Yeah, because some people leave the stove on, and then that's how they start a fire.
You can start a fire a lot of ways, but that's really, really good. All right?
Right.
Thank you so much for the interview.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.